My daughter called me peasant stock at her rehearsal dinner in front of 220 guests. The Whitehall Ballroom in downtown Chicago. Crystal chandeliers, string quartet. Waiters in white gloves serving champagne that cost more per bottle than I paid my employees per day. I stood near the back, wearing my best dress. Navy blue from Macy's, $200. My daughter had spent more than that on her shoes. Simone looked beautiful, 33 years old, my baby girl. Standing at the microphone next to Julian Hartwell IV, her husband-to-be, she was giving a toast, thanking everyone for coming, thanking Julian's family for welcoming her. Then she saw me. Our eyes met across that ballroom. For just a moment, I thought she might acknowledge me, might say something kind about the woman who raised her. Instead, she smiled. Not a warm smile, a cold one. I want to thank everyone here tonight for being part of our special journey. Julian and I are so grateful to be surrounded by real people, accomplished people, people who understand what it means to have breeding and class. She paused, let the words hang in the air. Not like some people. She looked directly at me. Not like the embarrassing peasant stock who think they belong in rooms like this. The ballroom went silent. 220 people turned to see who she was talking about. I felt their eyes, judging, assessing, wondering who this peasant stock was. Julian's mother, Catherine Hartwell, smiled, actually smiled, like my daughter had just said something clever. Julian himself looked uncomfortable but said nothing, did nothing. Just stood there while my daughter tore me apart in public. Simone continued. Some people work their whole lives and never understand that money does not buy class. That hard work does not equal sophistication. That feeding people at catering events does not make you cultured. My business. She was mocking my business. The business I built from nothing. The business that paid for her private schools, her summer trips to Europe, her $450,000 trust fund. I said nothing, did nothing. Just turned and walked out of that ballroom, my heels clicking on the marble floor. Nobody stopped me. Nobody followed. I heard Simone's voice behind me, getting louder, more confident, now that the embarrassment had left. But I remembered every word, every insult, every moment of humiliation. I drove home that night in silence, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. 30 years I had worked to give her everything I never had, and this was how she saw me. As peasant stock, as an embarrassment, as someone who did not belong. I thought about Hope Haven Children's Home, the place where I grew up, south side of Chicago, 1974 to 1983. 9 years of my childhood, sleeping in a room with 11 other girls, sharing 2 bathrooms between 52 children, eating oatmeal for breakfast, peanut butter sandwiches for lunch, whatever donations came in for dinner. Sister Rose had been there then, young nun, maybe 30 years old. She would sit with me when I cried, when I missed parents I never had, when I felt like nobody wanted me. She would say, "Gloria, child, the Lord gives us struggles to teach us strength. Someday you will use this strength to lift others up." I was 8 years old. I did not understand what she meant, but I remembered her words. At 22, I took $60. Everything I had saved from cleaning houses, bought a food cart, set it up outside Wrigley Field during baseball season, sold bratwurst and Italian beef sandwiches to Cubs fans, made $42 my first day, thought I was rich. 30 years later, I owned Benton's Catering Company. 9 locations across Chicagoland, corporate events, weddings, fundraisers. We did $2.3 million in profit last year alone. Not bad for peasant stock, but here is what really matters. I never forgot where I came from. Every month I write a check to Hope Haven, $5,500, no publicity, no tax write-offs, just giving back. Sister Rose is still there, 68 years old now, still taking care of forgotten children, Simone never knew about any of this. I made a mistake. I gave her everything I never had. Private schools, designer clothes, summer programs in France and Italy. That trust fund that kicked in at 26. I thought I was being a good mother. Turns out I was creating a monster. Simone grew up thinking money just appeared. That success was normal. That struggle was something that happened to other people. Then she met Julian Hartwell IV at Wharton Business School. Old money, or so everyone thought. His family had been rich since the 1850s. Great-great-grandfather owned railroad companies, great-grandfather owned manufacturing plants, his father owned half of Chicago's North Shore real estate. Julian took one look at my daughter and saw exactly what she was. New money trying to buy class. But Simone, she saw him as her ticket to the life she thought she deserved. They got engaged after 7 months. She called me crying with joy, said she had finally found her real family, said the Hartwells understood her in ways I never could. That should have been my first warning. 3 weeks before the wedding, Simone called. "Mom, we need to talk." I knew that tone. The same tone she used when she wrecked her Mercedes at 18, when she maxed out her credit cards at 24, when she needed me to fix something she had broken. "What is wrong, sweetheart?" "It is about the wedding." "Did something happen with the venue? The catering?" "I can write another check if no, Mom." "It is about you." The silence stretched between us. I could hear her breathing on the other end. Nervous, guilty. "What about me, Simone?" "Julian's family has some concerns." "What kind of concerns?" "About your background, your circumstances." "Circumstances?" Like being an orphan was a character flaw. Like building a business from nothing was shameful. "Simone, what are you trying to say?" "They think it might be better if you did not attend the ceremony." The words hit me like a physical blow. My own daughter. The girl I raised. Fed. Clothed. Educated. Loved. "You are uninviting me from your wedding." "It is not uninviting, Mom. It is just the Hartwells have a certain image to maintain. They're friends. They're business associates. They will all be there. And with your history. My history of what? Working hard. Building a business from nothing." "Mom, please do not make this harder than it has to be." "How much harder can it get, Simone? You are choosing them over me. I am choosing my future." "What about your past? What about the woman who raised you?" "You gave me money, Mom. That is not the same as raising me." Another blow, right to the heart. "I see. Do you?" "Because I need you to understand something. The Hartwells do not just have money, they have breeding. Class. History. Things you cannot buy. And I do not have those things. Mom, you are a food cart woman who got lucky. Lucky. 30 years of 16-hour days. Lucky. Sleeping 4 hours a night to make payroll. Lucky. I worked for everything I gave you, Simone, and I am grateful, but gratitude does not change what you are. What am I? You are not their kind of people. There it was. The truth she had been dancing around. I stayed quiet for a long moment, processing, planning. Okay. If that is what you want, I will not attend. Really? You are not going to fight me on this? No, sweetheart. I want you to be happy. Thank you, Mom. You do not know how much this means to me. I knew exactly how much it meant to her. Everything. So I did not go to my daughter's wedding. Instead, I spent that Saturday at Hope Haven reading stories to children who had nobody. Children like I used to be. Sister Rose found me in the library. "Gloria, child, you should be at your daughter's wedding. She made her choice, sister, and you made yours. Coming here instead of celebrating with family. These children are my family, more than Simone is right now." Sister Rose sat beside me, put her weathered hand on mine. The Lord tests us in strange ways, tests us with loss, tests us with heartbreak, but He also gives us chances to show who we really are. I am showing who I am by reading to orphans on my daughter's wedding day. You are showing who you are by choosing love over pride. Sister, I do not feel very loving right now. Love is not a feeling, child. Love is a choice. You chose to be here. That is love. I thought maybe Simone would call after the honeymoon, maybe apologize, maybe remember that I am her mother. She did not call. 3 days after she got back, my phone rang. Mom, it is Simone. We need to talk. Her voice was different, shaky, none of the confidence she had when she uninvited me from her wedding. What can I do for you, Simone? Can we meet in person? It is important. I am listening. Not over the phone. This is sensitive. Sensitive. Another word she used when she needed something. I am at the River North office. You know where it is. Benton's Catering Headquarters. 20th floor. Views of the Chicago River. 30 minutes later, she walked through my office doors. The same office she once called depressingly middle class when she brought Julian by last year. She looked around like she had never seen the place before. Simple furniture. File cabinets. Photos of catering events on the walls. Real people celebrating real moments. Not her people. Mom. Simone. She sat across from my desk. The same desk where I had taught her to count receipts when she was 7. Where we had eaten countless takeout dinners together before she decided I was not good enough. You look tired, I said. I have not been sleeping well. Wedding blues. Something like that. She twisted her wedding ring. $22,000. Harry Winston. I knew because I had seen the charge on Julian's credit card statement. He had sent it to me by mistake when setting up our family account access. How is married life? Mom, I need to tell you something. About Julian. About us. I am listening. We are having some financial difficulties. Financial difficulties. Rich people never said they were broke. They had difficulties. What kind of difficulties? Julian made some investments that did not work out. What kind of investments? Cryptocurrency, mostly. And some tech startups that folded. How much? She did not answer right away. Started picking at her cuticles. Nervous habit from childhood. Simone, how much did he lose? $350,000 in crypto. My catering company makes more than that in 3 months. But for trust fund babies, it was probably devastating. That is unfortunate. There is more. Of course there was. He invested in a company called NextGen Social Analytics. It was supposed to revolutionize online advertising. Supposed to. It was a Ponzi scheme. Julian lost $440,000, $790,000 total. Still not catastrophic for old money families. And there are credit cards. 19 different cards, all maxed out. How much? $126,000. Now we were getting somewhere. $916,000 in debt. Still manageable if you had family money. Cannot Julian's family help? She laughed. Not a happy laugh, a bitter one. That is the thing, Mom. Julian's family does not have as much money as everyone thinks. What do you mean? His great-grandfather lost most of the railroad money in the Great Depression. His grandfather lost more in the 1970s recession. His father has been mortgaging properties since the 2008 crash to maintain their lifestyle. The Hartwell fortune is mostly smoke and mirrors. So Julian is broke. We are broke. Completely broke. I let that sink in. The daughter who called me peasant stock had married into fake aristocracy. What about your trust fund? Gone. Julian convinced me to invest it all in his ventures. Said we would triple our money in a year. $450,000. Gone. I see. Mom, we might lose everything. The penthouse. The cars. Everything. Julian is talking about bankruptcy. That is rough. The worst part. His family is furious. They are saying it is my fault, that I brought bad luck into their family. That I am not really one of them. The irony was thick enough to cut with a knife. How does it feel? What? Being told you do not belong. She stared at me. For a moment, I thought she might understand, might apologize, might remember what she had done to me. Instead, she leaned forward. Mom, I need your help. What kind of help? I need to borrow something. Money? Not exactly. Then what? Your lake house. I blinked. My lake house in Lake Geneva, the one you bought 2 years ago. $2.8 million. Waterfront. 4,200 square feet. My retirement dream. What do you need my house for? We need to sell it. Sell my house. Just temporarily. To cover our debts. We will buy it back when things turn around. You want me to give you my house so you can sell it? It is not giving, Mom. It is lending. Family helping family. Family, now we were family again. Simone, that house is worth $2.8 million, I know, and we will pay you back every penny. With what money? You just told me you are broke. Julian has some deals in the works. Big deals. We just need time. What kind of deals? International consulting, import-export, high-level stuff you would not understand. Would not understand. More insults wrapped in desperation. How long would you need the house? 6 months. Maybe 9. A year at most. A year. And if these deals do not work out? They will. But if they do not? Mom, you have to trust me. Trust. From the daughter who uninvited me from her wedding because I was not good enough for her new family. Let me understand this correctly. You need me to hand over my most valuable asset to cover debts from investments I had no part in making. When you put it like that, it sounds. It sounds like what, Simone? Look, I know I hurt you with the wedding thing, but family is family. Blood is blood. Where was that blood when you called me peasant stock? Mom, please. We are disparity. How disparity? Julian's family will disown him if he files for bankruptcy. His business connections will dry up. We will have nothing. You will have what I had at your age. Nothing. That is different. How is it different? You did not have anything to lose. I had my dignity. Mom, please. You owe me this. There it was. The entitlement that had been building for years. I owe you. After everything. After all the sacrifices I made growing up with a working-class mother. Sacrifices. She called being my daughter a sacrifice. What sacrifices, Simone? Having to explain why my mother owned a catering company instead of an investment firm. Why we lived in a normal house instead of an estate. Why I could not bring friends over because you might embarrass me with your South Side accent. Every word was a knife. I see. So will you help us? I looked at my daughter. Really looked at her. The girl I had raised was gone. In her place sat a stranger who saw me as an ATM with legs. I will think about it. How long? I will call you. Mom, we do not have long. The creditors are already calling. Julian's lawyer says we have maybe 2 weeks before they start seizing assets. I said I will call you. She left without saying goodbye, just like she had left my life when she found better people. But she had made one mistake. She had shown me exactly who she really was. Now it was time to show her who I really was. That night I could not sleep, so I did what I always do when I need to think clearly. I went to work. My office sits above the original Benton's catering location. Same building where I parked that $60 food cart 30 years ago. I keep it simple. Metal desk, 2 chairs, file cabinet, photos of events we have catered, weddings, anniversaries, graduations, real people celebrating real life. I pulled up Simone's financial records. As her mother, I still had access to her accounts until age 35. She had forgotten about that detail. What I found made my stomach turn. While Julian was losing their money on crypto and Ponzi schemes, they were spending like royalty, $16,000 handbags, $9,000 dinners, $33,000 weekend trips to London. In the 7 months before their wedding, they had blown through $228,000 on luxury items while crying poverty. But that was not the worst part. I found the credit card statements from their honeymoon. 14 days in the Maldives. Presidential villa at the Street Regis. $3,200 per night. Private yacht excursions, underwater restaurant dinners, seaplane tours, total cost $74,000. The same daughter who uninvited me from her wedding had spent more on her honeymoon than most people make in 2 years. I printed everything. Bank statements, credit card bills, investment records, shopping receipts, built a file thick as a dictionary. Then I made a decision. I picked up my phone and dialed a number I called every month, but had not spoken to in person for weeks. Hope Haven Children's Home. This is Sister Rose. Her voice was exactly the same, warm, patient, kind, the voice that had comforted me through nightmares when I was 8 years old. Sister Rose, this is Gloria Benton. Gloria, child, how are you? I heard about the wedding situation. Word travels fast. Not fast enough. I should have been there for you. You were there, sister, in spirit if not in body. What can I do for you, child? I need to talk to you about something important. About Hope Haven. About the children. Is everything all right with the home? Everything is fine, but it could be better. Much better. What do you mean? I mean, those children deserve more than a building that leaks when it rains, more than a heating system from the 1960s, more than sharing bedrooms with 6 other kids. Gloria, we make do with what we have. The Lord provides. The Lord provides through people, sister. And I want to be one of those people. You already are. Your monthly donations keep us afloat. I am not talking about monthly donations anymore. What are you talking about? I am talking about a new building. A real home for those children. Individual bedrooms. A library. A computer lab. A playground. Everything they deserve. Gloria, a building like that would cost $2.2 million. I already checked with contractors. Silence on the other end. Child, are you serious? Dead serious. But Gloria, that is almost exactly what my Lake Geneva house is worth. Your house? The one you bought for retirement? Yes. You would give that up? For children you have never met? I was one of those children, sister. Remember? Of course I remember. Then you know why this matters. But your daughter, she asked for the house. My daughter asked me to sell it so she could cover debts from bad investments and luxury spending. You are asking me to give it so 52 children can have futures. There is a difference. Gloria, this is the right thing to do, sister. I know it. I feel it. When can we meet tomorrow? I want to do this publicly. With media present, I want the world to see how important this work is. Why publicly? Because my daughter needs to learn a lesson about what really matters, and because these children deserve to be seen, to be valued, to know that someone cares. Tomorrow afternoon then. 2:30, I will have everything ready. Thank you, child. This will change everything. That is exactly what I am counting on. The next morning I met with my attorney, Patricia Lewis, at her office in the Loop. Patricia has been handling my legal affairs for 14 years, business contracts, real estate deals, catering acquisitions. She has seen me make plenty of big decisions, but nothing like this. Gloria, let me make sure I understand what you are asking me to do. Patricia sat behind her glass desk, reading the documents I had requested. 3 different contracts spread across her leather blotter. You want to donate your Lake Geneva property to Hope Haven Children's Home. That is correct. The property valued at $2.8 million. Yes. And you want this donation to be irrevocable. Meaning, once you sign these papers, you can never change your mind. Exactly, Gloria. This is your retirement home, your biggest single asset outside the business. I am aware. Patricia leaned back in her chair, studied me over her reading glasses. Can I ask why? Personal reasons. This would not have anything to do with your daughter, would it? Patricia knew about the wedding situation. She had been invited before Simone decided I was not welcome. It has everything to do with my daughter. Gloria, if this is about revenge, this is not revenge, Patricia. This is about values. What kind of values are worth $2.8 million? The kind you cannot put a price on. She sighed and picked up her pen. Okay, let us go through this step by step. The donation papers will transfer full ownership of the property to Hope Haven Children's Home effective immediately upon signing. Good. The tax implications are actually favorable. As a charitable donation, you will receive a full deduction against your income. I do not care about the tax benefits. You should. This will save you roughly $880,000 in federal and state taxes over the next 3 years. $880,000. Almost exactly what Simone and Julian owed in debts. What about the media component? I have contacted Channel 5 News. They will have a crew at your office at 2 o'clock. That gives us 30 minutes to handle the legal formalities before your guests arrive, and everything will be recorded. Every signature, every word. The donation will be legally binding the moment you sign regardless of who is watching. Perfect. Patricia pulled out another document. This is the press release we will distribute after the signing. It announces the donation and explains the impact on the children's home. I read through it quickly. Standard language about charitable giving and community support. Add something. What? Add that this donation was inspired by my own experience as a child at Hope Haven from 1974 to 1983. Patricia made a note. Anything else? Yes. Include a quote from Sister Rose about how many children this will help. Already done. She mentioned 52 current residents plus room for expansion to 82. Good. Patricia stacked the papers neatly. Gloria, I have to ask one more time. Are you absolutely certain about this? Once these papers are signed, there is no going back. Patricia, let me tell you something. I have made a lot of decisions in my life. Some good, some bad, but this is the rightest thing I have ever done. Even knowing your daughter will be devastated, especially knowing that. Why? Because maybe losing something she never earned will teach her the value of what she threw away. Patricia nodded slowly. In that case, I will see you at 1:30. We will have everything ready to go. I stood to leave, then turned back. Patricia. Yes. When this hits the news tonight, my phone is going to ring off the hook. Family members, friends, reporters, everyone is going to want to know why I did this. What should I tell them? Tell them sometimes the best way to help someone is to stop helping them. And if they ask about Simone specifically, tell them I am teaching my daughter that there are two kinds of people in this world, those who lift others up and those who tear others down. Today, she is going to learn which kind her mother is. I left Patricia's office and drove straight to Hope Haven. I wanted to see Sister Rose before everything went public. Wanted to see the children who would benefit from this decision. Wanted to remember why I was doing this in the first place. The old brick building looked exactly the same as it had 40 years ago. Same cracked sidewalk, same chain link fence, same feeling of hope mixed with desperation. But tomorrow everything would change for 52 children who deserved better. And for one daughter who needed to learn what better actually meant. Sister Rose met me at the door. Gloria, child, come in. We walked through hallways I remembered from childhood. Same green paint, same smell of industrial cleaner and cafeteria food, same sounds of children laughing and crying and living. This is where you slept. Sister Rose stopped at a dormitory. 8 bunk beds. 16 girls sharing one room. I was in that bed. 3rd from the left. Bottom bunk. You cried every night. For the first month. I remember. Then one night you stopped crying and started helping the younger girls get ready for bed. You were 9 years old. I figured if I was going to be there, I might as well be useful. That is when I knew you would be special. You had turned your pain into purpose. We continued down the hall. This is where we will build the new dormitories. Individual rooms for each child, their own space, their own privacy. Something most of them have never had. How long until construction can start? If we have the funds by next week, we could break ground in a month. You will have the funds tomorrow. Sister Rose squeezed my hand. The children do not know yet what this means for them. When will you tell them? After the donation is official, after the cameras are gone. I want them to understand that this is real, that someone cared enough to change their lives. Someone did care, child. You. By noon, my phone started ringing. First call was from my niece Diane, my sister's daughter. Always thought she knew better than everyone else. Aunt Gloria. Simone called me crying. She says you are being unreasonable about the house. Is that what she said? She told me about Julian's financial troubles. How they need family support right now. Did she tell you why they need support? Something about bad investments. Aunt Gloria, these things happen. Families should stick together. Did she tell you she uninvited me from her wedding? Silence. What? Simone banned me from her own wedding because I was not good enough for Julian's family. That cannot be true. Ask her. But Aunt Gloria, even if that happened, family is family. You cannot hold grudges forever. This is not a grudge, Diane. This is about consequences. You are going to let your pride destroy your relationship with your daughter? My pride is not the problem here. She hung up. 20 minutes later, my ex-husband called. Marcus and I divorced when Simone was 15, but we had managed to stay civil for our daughter's sake. Gloria, I heard what you are planning to do. Word travels fast. Simone called me hysterical, saying you are refusing to help her when she needs you most. Did she explain why she needs help? Her husband made some bad investments. So what? That is what family does. We help each other. Like she helped me when I wanted to attend her wedding? Marcus went quiet. She told me you were too busy with work to come. Is that what she said? Gloria, what really happened? She uninvited me, Marcus, called me peasant stock in front of 220 guests, said I was embarrassing, that I did not belong with real people. Jesus. Exactly. So you understand why I am doing this. I understand you are hurt, but giving away your retirement home? I am not giving it away, Marcus. I am investing it in children who actually need it. Instead of a daughter who just wants it, there is a difference. Marcus sighed. You always were stubborn. Stubborn or principled? Both. He paused. For what it is worth, I think Simone needs to learn this lesson, even if it is painful. Thank you, Marcus. I will be there tomorrow, at the donation. What? Someone needs to support you, and maybe our daughter needs to see that. The third call came from Julian himself. His voice was different from the wedding. No more condescending tone, no more barely hidden contempt. Now he sounded desperate. Gloria, we need to talk. I thought I was not sophisticated enough to understand your business dealings. Look, I know I may have come across as dismissive at the wedding. Dismissive. Okay, I was rude. I was nervous about the marriage and I took it out on you. I am sorry. Too little too late. What do you want, Julian? I want to make this right between us, between our families. How? By being honest about everything. I am listening. The truth is my family is not as wealthy as people think. My great-grandfather made some bad investments after the Depression. My grandfather lost more in the oil crisis. My father has been borrowing against properties since 2008, so you are all broke. Not broke, but not liquid. Liquid. Even broke. He could not say the word poor. And now you need my house. We need a bridge loan. Something to cover our debts until my consulting business takes off. What consulting business? I am starting an international trade consulting firm. High-end clients. Multinational corporations. With what credentials? I have my MBA from Wharton. So do 50,000 other people. Gloria, please. I am trying to be reasonable here. Are you? Yes. And I am prepared to offer you something in return. What? A partnership in my new business. 25% equity, 25% of nothing is still nothing. That is generous. I thought you would appreciate it. Julian, let me ask you something. Okay. When you decided I was not good enough for your wedding, did you think about what that would do to me? Look, that was not personal. What was it then? It was about optics, image. My family has certain expectations, and I did not meet those expectations. You have to understand. My family moves in very specific circles. There are protocols, social dynamics you might not understand. There it was again, the condescension. Even desperate, he could not help himself. I see. So, you will consider the partnership? Julian, I want you to listen very carefully to what I am about to tell you. Okay, tomorrow at 2:30, come to my office. Bring Simone. We will settle this once and for all. Really? You will transfer the house? We will settle it. Thank you, Gloria. You will not regret this. You are right about that. What? I will not regret it at all. After I hung up, I sat at my desk and opened my email. One new message caught my attention. Sender Hope Haven Children's Home. Subject thank you. I opened it. Dear Mrs. Benton, my name is Aaliyah Thompson. I am 9 years old. I live at Hope Haven. Sister Rose told us you are the lady who donates money every month so we can have good food and new clothes. I wanted to say thank you. My favorite thing is reading books in the library. Sister Rose says maybe someday we will have more books. That would be nice. I want to be a teacher when I grow up so I can help kids like me. Your friend Aaliyah. I printed the email, put it in my wallet next to the donation papers. This was why I was doing this. Not for revenge, not for spite, for Aaliyah, for 52 children who deserved more than hand-me-downs and hope. At 1 o'clock, I called Sister Rose. Everything is set for tomorrow. Are you ready? Ready as I will ever be, child. The children? I told them we have a special announcement tomorrow. They are very excited. Good. Because their lives are about to change. Gloria. Yes, sister. Thank you for remembering where you came from. Some people get successful and forget. I could never forget. Those 9 years shaped everything I became. That is why you are doing this. Not just for the children, for that 8-year-old girl who arrived with nothing. Maybe. Or maybe I am doing it because it is the right thing to do. Those can be the same thing, child. At 1:30, Patricia arrived at my River North office with the donation papers, 3 copies, each one notarized and ready for signatures. The Channel 5 news crew pulled up 10 minutes later. Mrs. Benton, I am Michael Davis from Channel 5. We spoke yesterday about your philanthropic announcement. Michael was a veteran reporter. 42. Sharp suit. Professional demeanor. The kind of journalist who could spot a real story. Thank you for coming, Michael. Can you give us a preview of what we are announcing today? It is better if you experience it in real time. Trust me, you will want to be rolling when it happens. His eyes lit up. Nothing gets a reporter more excited than genuine surprise. How substantial are we talking about? Life-changing. For who? 52 children who deserve better than they are getting. At 2 o'clock, Sister Rose arrived. She looked nervous but excited, wearing her best habit and carrying a folder full of photos from Hope Haven. Gloria, I still cannot believe this is really happening. It is happening, sister. Are you ready to tell the world about those children? More ready than I have ever been. She opened the folder, showed me photos. Children in the dormitories, 8 to a room. Children in the cafeteria, eating donated food on plastic trays. Children in the playground, playing on equipment from the 1980s. These are the faces that will change tomorrow. These are the lives that will be different because of what you are doing. Not just me, sister. You. You have been doing this work for 40 years. 43 this December. 43 years of caring for forgotten children. That is the real story here. At 2:15, my phone buzzed. Text from Simone. Running a few minutes late. Julian had to stop for gas. Perfect. Let them think this was just another meeting. Let them think they were getting what they wanted. At 2:20, Patricia set up the contracts on my desk. Everything is ready. The moment you sign, the house belongs to Hope Haven. No take-backs. No regrets. No take-backs. No regrets. Michael positioned his camera. Mrs. Benton, we will start rolling as soon as your guests arrive. You just do what you planned. We will capture everything. Sister Rose sat quietly in the corner, hands folded, praying silently. I could see her lips moving, asking God for strength, for wisdom, for grace. At 2:28, I heard voices in the hallway, Simone and Julian, arguing about something, their voices getting closer. This better work, Julian was saying. Your mother better come through. She will. She always does. Always. The word stung, because it was true. I had always come through for Simone. Always fixed her problems, always written the checks, always enabled her. Not anymore. The door opened. Simone walked in first. Wearing a designer suit that probably cost $3,000, Julian behind her, looking annoyed. Then they saw the camera crew. Mom, what is going on? Why are there cameras here? Sit down, Simone, both of you. They took the chairs across from my desk, the same chairs where I had fired dishonest employees, where I had negotiated million-dollar contracts, where I had made the hardest decisions of my business life. Julian, Simone, I want you to meet some people. I gestured towards Sister Rose. This is Sister Rose. She runs Hope Haven Children's Home on the South Side. Simone looked confused. Julian looked annoyed. And this is Michael Davis from Channel 5 News. Now Julian looked alarmed. Gloria, what exactly is going on here? We are here to make an announcement, Julian, about my Lake Geneva property. Simone perked up. You are transferring it to us? In a manner of speaking, Michael positioned himself with the camera. Mrs. Benton, whenever you are ready. I stood behind my desk, the same desk where I had built my business from nothing, where I had planned every expansion, every success, every dream. Simone, Julian, 3 days ago you asked me for help. You asked me to give you my lake house to cover debts from investments I had nothing to do with. Mom, we discussed this. It is temporary. You also told me I owed you this help, after everything. Well, yes, you were right about one thing. I do owe someone something. After everything. Julian shifted in his chair. What do you mean? I mean I owe it to the children who are growing up the way I did, with nothing, with no one, with no hope, except what kind strangers are willing to give them. Sister Rose smiled. She was beginning to understand. Simone was not. Mom, what are you talking about? I am talking about real family, Simone. Not the kind of family that uninvites you from weddings because you are embarrassing, but the kind of family that lifts each other up. I do not understand. You will. I picked up the donation papers Patricia had prepared. 3 copies, each one identical, each one binding. Michael, are you recording? Rolling now, Mrs. Benton. Perfect. I looked directly into the camera. My name is Gloria Benton. 40 years ago, I was a homeless 8-year-old living at Hope Haven Children's Home. Today, I am the owner of 9 successful catering locations and a $2.8 million lake house in Lake Geneva. Simone's face went white. Today, I am donating that house to Sister Rose and the children of Hope Haven so they can build a new facility, so 52 children can have real bedrooms instead of dormitories. So they can have hope instead of just survival. Julian shot to his feet. "What the hell are you doing?" Simone stared at me in shock. "Mom, you cannot be serious." I picked up my pen. I have never been more serious about anything in my life. And I signed the first paper, the one that would change everything for everyone. "Stop." Simone lunged forward, reaching for the papers. But it was too late. My signature was already dry on the first copy. "Mom, what have you done?" "I have done what I should have done years ago." Julian grabbed Simone's arm, pulling her back. His face was red with rage. "You senile old woman, do you have any idea what you just did?" "I donated my house to charity. On live television. In front of witnesses. That was our house." "Your house?" I looked directly into the camera. "Michael, did you catch that? Julian just called my house their house." Michael nodded, still recording. This was better than he had hoped for. "Julian, when exactly did my house become your house?" "We had an understanding. We had a conversation. There is a difference." Simone was hyperventilating. "Mom, please. You can undo this. Call your lawyer. Stop the transfer." "Patricia," I looked at my attorney who was standing quietly in the corner. "Can this be undone?" "Not a chance. The moment you signed that document, ownership transferred to Hope Haven Children's Home. It is irrevocable." "Irrevocable?" I repeated. "Do you know what that means, Simone?" "It means you have lost your mind. It means I cannot change my mind, even if I wanted to, which I do not." Sister Rose stepped forward. "Perhaps I should explain what this donation means for the children." "Nobody cares about your damn children," Julian shouted. The room went dead quiet. Michael's camera was still rolling. Sister Rose looked shocked. Even Simone stared at her husband in horror. "What did you just say?" I asked quietly. Julian realized his mistake immediately, but it was too late. I did not mean. "You said nobody cares about orphan children." On camera, in front of a nun. I was upset. I misspoke. "No, Julian, you spoke honestly for the first time since I have known you." I signed the second copy of the donation papers. "Mom, stop." Simone was crying now. "You are destroying our lives." Am I? Or am I finally teaching you what lives are actually worth? What is that supposed to mean? Sister Rose, would you please tell the camera about the children who will benefit from this donation? Sister Rose composed herself and looked directly into the lens. Hope Haven currently houses 52 children ages 7 to 17. Most have been abandoned by their families. All of them have experienced trauma, neglect, or abuse. And what will this donation allow you to do? We will be able to build a new facility, individual bedrooms for each child, a proper library with 11,000 books, a computer lab with 33 stations, a playground that is safe and modern. Most importantly, we will be able to expand our capacity to help even more children. How many more? With a new building, we could help up to 82 children at any given time. I turned back to Simone and Julian. 82 children who will have hope because of this decision. We do not care about other people's children. Simone screamed. We care about us. Another honest moment. Another moment caught on camera. Simone, do you remember when you were 7 years old and you asked me why some kids did not have mommies? What does that have to do with anything? I told you that sometimes mommies get lost, but I promised you that your mommy would never get lost, that I would always be there for you. You were there until you decided to throw your money away. I was there when you graduated high school. I was there when you graduated from Wharton. I was there when you needed money for your penthouse, your car, your credit cards. So, but you were not there when I needed you. When did you ever need me? At your wedding, Simone. I needed my daughter to want me there. She went quiet. Instead, you told me I was embarrassing peasant stock. You told me I was not good enough for your new family. That was different. How was it different? Julian's family has standards. What kind of standards? Julian tried to interrupt. Simone, do not. Standards about breeding, about class, about the kind of people who matter. I signed the third and final copy. There it is, I said quietly. The truth. What truth? You are ashamed of me. You are ashamed of where you came from. You are ashamed of the woman who raised you. I never said that. You did not have to. Your actions said it for you. Michael stepped forward with his microphone. Mrs. Benton, why was it important to you to make this donation publicly? Because I wanted my daughter to see what real values look like. And what are those values? That you lift people up, you do not tear them down. That you help those who cannot help themselves. That blood does not make you family. Character does. I looked directly at Simone. You called me peasant stock, sweetheart. And you know what? You were right. Her face crumpled. Peasants work the land. They feed people. They build things from nothing. They give more than they take. I stood up and walked around my desk. I am proud to be peasant stock, because peasants like me understand something that people like you never will. What is that? That the only wealth that matters is what you give away. Julian was shaking with rage. You have destroyed us. We will lose everything. Good. Maybe losing everything will teach you what everything actually means. Sister Rose approached Simone gently. My dear, your mother has just given 52 children a chance at life. That is not destruction, that is creation. Simone looked at the nun like she was speaking a foreign language. Those children do not matter to me. Then you have learned nothing from the woman who raised you. I picked up all 3 signed copies of the donation papers and handed them to Sister Rose. It is done. Gloria, how can I ever thank you? Take care of those kids, the way you took care of me. The office door opened. Marcus walked in. My ex-husband, Simone's father. He looked at our daughter crying, at Julian red-faced with anger, at the camera still recording, at Sister Rose holding the donation papers. Then he looked at me. You did it. I did it. Marcus walked over and hugged me. First time we had embraced in 15 years. I am proud of you, Gloria, Dad. Simone stood up. How can you say that? She just destroyed my life. No, sweetheart, you destroyed your own life. Your mother just stopped enabling it. Marcus turned to Julian. And you convinced my daughter to uninvite her mother from her wedding. You lost nearly $1 million in bad investments. You had the nerve to demand a $2.8 million house. And then you said on camera that nobody cares about orphaned children. Julian said nothing. What did you expect would happen? Marcus continued. Did you think there would be no consequences? That you could treat people like garbage and still get what you want? Dad, we are family. Family does not do this to each other. Family does not uninvite their mother from weddings. Family does not call their mother peasant stock in front of 220 guests. Family does not demand houses to cover gambling debts. Simone was sobbing now. We are going to lose everything. Then, you will finally understand what your mother started with. Nothing. Marcus looked at me. What happens now? Now they figure it out, like I did. Like every person who has ever had to rebuild from scratch. Michael lowered his camera. Mrs. Benton, do you have any final words for your daughter? I looked at Simone one last time. I love you. I always will, but I will not enable you anymore. Mom, please. Simone, you have 2 choices. You can learn from this, or you can keep blaming everyone else for your problems. What am I supposed to do now? What I did when I had nothing. Figure it out. Julian grabbed Simone's arm. Come on. We are leaving. As they reached the door, Simone turned back. "I will never forgive you for this. I know, but maybe someday you will thank me." The door slammed behind them. Sister Rose squeezed my hand. "You did the right thing, Gloria." "I hope so." Marcus stayed after everyone else left. We sat in my office, just the two of us, first time in years. "You knew I was going to do this," I suspected. "When you called yesterday asking if I would come, I knew it was something big." "Why did you support me?" "Because you were right." Simone needed to learn this lesson, even if it hurt, even if it hurt. Marcus looked out the window at the Chicago skyline. "We failed her, Gloria. Both of us. We gave her everything and taught her nothing. We taught her plenty. She chose not to listen. Maybe. Or maybe we made it too easy. Made success look effortless. Made struggle look optional. Now she gets to learn what struggle actually is. Will she survive it? I do not know. But at least she will have the chance to find out." The story broke on Channel 5's 6 o'clock news that same evening. I was having dinner at my South Loop location when every TV in the place switched to Michael Davis's report. A local businesswoman made headlines today when she donated her $2.8 million Lake Geneva home to charity, live on camera, in front of her own daughter who had asked to borrow the property to cover massive debts. The footage rolled. Julian screaming about our house. Simone crying that I was destroying their lives. Julian's comment about nobody caring about damn children. Simone screaming that other people's children did not matter to her. The restaurant went completely silent. Every customer, every employee, watching the screens. Then something unexpected happened. Applause. It started with one customer, a man sitting alone at table 7. He started clapping. Then the table next to him joined in. Then the entire restaurant erupted. "That is Mrs. Benton. That is our boss." My phone started buzzing immediately. Text after text after text. "Saw you on the news. You are a hero." Patricia, my attorney, made me cry. Those lucky kids. My business partner, Thomas. About time someone stood up to entitled brats. Sister Rose. "You are changing lives, child." But not all the messages were supportive. "How could you do that to your own daughter?" Diane, my niece. "Family first, Gloria, always." Unknown number. "You will regret this, Julian." I deleted that one without reading further. By 7 o'clock, the story had gone viral on social media. Michael forwarded me screenshots from Twitter and Facebook. Mother donates $2.8 million house to orphans instead of entitled daughter. This is what accountability looks like. Did you see the daughter's reaction? "Those children do not matter to me." Disgusting. The son-in-law saying, "Nobody cares about your damn children" to a nun on camera. Career suicide. That last comment made me smile. Julian's consulting business would be dead before it started. At 8:30, Sister Rose called. "Gloria, you need to see this." "What is happening?" The phones at Hope Haven have not stopped ringing. We have received over $45,000 in donations just since the story aired. $45,000 in 2 hours. That is wonderful, sister. There is more. A construction company in Naperville called. They want to donate labor for the new building. A furniture store in Oak Park wants to donate beds and desks for every room. The story is having an impact. Gloria, this is not just about the house anymore. This is about inspiration. People are seeing what is possible when someone chooses principle over profit. At 9 o'clock, Marcus called. "Have you seen the news coverage? Hard to miss. The whole country is talking about you." Is that good or bad? That depends. On what? On whether you care what strangers think. I do not. Then it is good. Gloria, I want you to know something. What? I am proud of you. For standing up to Simone, for choosing those children, for remembering who you are. Marcus, We were married for 18 years. I know, and in all those years, I never told you this enough. You are the strongest person I have ever met. I am not that strong. Yes, you are. You survived an orphanage, built a business from nothing, raised a daughter alone after I left, and today you gave away millions to help children nobody else cares about. That is strength. At 10:15, Simone called. Her voice was different, smaller, defeated. Mom, Simone. I saw the news coverage, and people are saying terrible things about me online. What kind of things? That I am spoiled, entitled, that I do not deserve to be your daughter. Do you disagree with them? Long pause. I do not know anymore. Simone, for the first time in this conversation, you are being honest. Mom, I am scared. Of what? Of losing everything. My friends, my social circle, my reputation. Julian's family is already talking about pushing for divorce. Because of the bankruptcy? Because of the video. My reaction. They are saying we embarrassed the family name. The irony was perfect. The same family that rejected me for being embarrassing was now rejecting Simone for the same reason. What are you going to do? I do not know. Julian is talking about moving to his uncle's place in Florida, starting over. And you? I do not want to run away, Mom, but I do not know how to face this. After we hung up, I sat in my office reading messages from strangers who had seen the story. Parents setting boundaries with entitled children. People inspired to volunteer at local charities. Families having conversations about values and sacrifice. One message stood out. Mrs. Benton, I am 9 years old and I live at Hope Haven. Sister Rose showed us your story on the news. Thank you for helping kids like me. Maybe someday I can help kids too. Your friend, Aaliyah. 6 months later, I stood in the courtyard of the new Hope Haven Children's Home. The building was beautiful. 3 stories of red brick and hope, 82 individual bedrooms, a library with 11,000 books, a computer lab with 33 stations, a playground that looked like something from a dream. Sister Rose walked up beside me, beaming. The children moved in yesterday. Would you like to see their rooms? I would love to. We walked through hallways filled with laughter. Real bedrooms with real doors and real privacy. Children who had never owned anything now had spaces to call their own. Room 23. Sister Rose said, stopping at an open door. This is Aaliyah's room. I looked inside. The 9-year-old from Atlanta, who had written me that email 6 months ago, Hope Haven had agreed to transfer her when her local facility closed. Aaliyah was sitting at a small desk writing in a notebook. What are you working on? I asked. She looked up, recognizing me immediately. Mrs. Benton. I am writing thank you letters to people who donated money for our new home. How many have you written? 52 so far. 1 for each kid who was here when you gave us the house. 52 letters. This child understood gratitude better than my own daughter had. Aaliyah, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to help kids like me. Maybe run a place like this. I think you would be good at that. As we walked back toward the lobby, Sister Rose handed me an envelope. This came for you yesterday. I recognized the handwriting immediately. Simone. Inside was a check for $5,500 made out to Hope Haven Children's Home and a note. Mom, I have been volunteering at Hope Haven's kitchen for the past 5 months. Julian and I divorced 4 months ago. I am living in a studio apartment in Pilsen and working as an event coordinator at a hotel downtown. It is hard, but I am learning what real work feels like. This donation is from my own savings. Not much, but it is mine. I hope someday you will be proud of me again. Love, Simone. I folded the letter carefully and put it in my wallet next to Aaliyah's first message. Will you see her? Sister Rose asked. When she is ready, really ready, how will you know? When she stops asking for things and starts giving them. That evening, Marcus called. "Have you gotten Simone's letter?" "I have." "What do you think?" "I think she is learning." "Is it enough?" "Not yet. But it is a start." He paused. "She has been asking about you. What does she want to know?" "If you will ever forgive her." "What did you tell her?" "I told her forgiveness is not something you ask for. It is something you earn." "And has she earned it?" "Not yet. But she is trying." 6 months after that, Simone called. "Mom, I know you are probably busy, but I wanted to tell you something." "I am listening." "I got promoted to senior event coordinator at the hotel, and I have been accepted to a program that trains people to run nonprofit organizations." "That is wonderful, sweetheart." "Mom, yes. I understand now what you were trying to teach me." "What is that?" "That the only wealth that matters is what you give away." "I am proud of you, Simone. Does this mean you will have dinner with me sometime?" "I would like that very much. There is a little place near my apartment in Pilsen. Nothing fancy. Just good food and honest prices." "Sounds perfect." "Mom." "Yes. Thank you for not giving up on me." "I never gave up on you, Simone. I just stopped enabling you. I love you. I love you too." After I hung up, I walked outside Hope Haven and looked up at the stars. Somewhere in the city, 82 children were sleeping safely in beds they had never dreamed they could have. Somewhere else, my daughter was learning that the best way to find yourself is to lose everything you thought you needed. And somewhere in between, a mother had finally figured out the difference between helping and healing. It had cost me a house, but it had given me back my daughter. And that was worth more than all the money in the world. Aaliyah found me outside. "Mrs. Benton, are you okay?" "I am perfect, sweetheart." "Why are you crying?" "Sometimes people cry when they are happy." "Are you happy?" "Very happy." "Because of the house?" "Because of what the house became." "What did it become?" "Hope. For you. For 52 children. For my daughter. For everyone who needed to remember that giving is better than getting." Aaliyah hugged me. "When I grow up, I want to be like you." "You already are, sweetheart. You already are." Where are you listening from right now? What city? What state? What country? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories reach across the world. Hit that like button if this story resonated with you. Share it if you know someone whose family turned on them the moment they decided they were too good for their roots. Someone who was called embarrassing, unsophisticated, peasant stock. Someone who worked their entire life to give their children everything, only to be told they were not good enough. Subscribe because I have more stories about people who gave everything and got nothing in return until they decided enough was enough. Thanks for listening to Gloria's story. Remember that calling someone peasant stock says more about you than it does about them. That uninviting your parent from your wedding has consequences. That demanding houses to cover bad investments is not family support, it is entitlement. That children who have nothing deserve more than children who have everything and appreciate nothing. And that sometimes the best way to help someone is to stop helping them. Gloria spent 30 years building a catering business and saving for retirement. She gave it all away to children who had nobody, not for recognition, not for tax breaks, just because it was the right thing to do. Because she remembered being that 8-year-old girl with nothing. Because she understood that peasant stock, the people who work the land and feed others and build from nothing, are the ones who truly understand wealth. The only wealth that matters is what you give away. See you in the next story.